Hi everybody! Welcome to EcoArts class. I'm Miss Rachel, your EcoArts teacher. And you might be wondering, what in the world is EcoArt? Let me tell you. Eco is short for ecology, which is the study of living things and their environment. I'm a living thing. You're a living thing. There's living things all around us. And an environment is everything around us. That's stuff outside, even inside of your home. That's your home environment. Today, I want to talk about ecosystems, which are living things and non-living things that work together in their environment to create an ecosystem. Guys, I just saw one of the birds that we're going to be drawing today in our art project. I wasn't expecting this, but let's go take a look. There's the great blue heron, and it looks like he's looking in the water for lunch. Every living thing plays an important role in ecosystems, from plants and small bugs that feed fish, to fish and crustaceans that feed the birds. I spy a striped mullet jumping from the water. Did you see him? There he goes! Check out this great egret hunting for fish. Oh, he caught it! And the non-living things, like sticks, dirt, and water, are necessary so that everything lives in balance and harmony. Right now, I'm in a coastal area of San Diego called a wetland, which is an area where water covers the ground for long periods of time. When I'm in the middle of a beautiful ecosystem like this one, I like to imagine what kind of art I can make that resembles it. What is my artwork going to look like? Perhaps it will look like this. There are all kinds of cool animals in this ecosystem, and we're going to draw some together. Let's take a moment to talk about Audubon. Audubon was a painter who used a technique called Naturalism. Take a look at some of his work. Audubon was notable for his depiction of birds in their natural habitats. Naturalism is an art technique that represents nature correctly. Notice that in Audubon's work, he's very detailed. It's almost like looking at a photograph. We can learn a lot by studying ecosystems and creating naturalist art pieces. Let's go grab our art supplies and draw our own wetland ecosystem at sunset. For this art project, you'll need white paper, a marker, a pencil, a cup, and all kinds of colored pencils. Make sure you sharpen them. Pause this video to grab your supplies. And remember, you can pause the video at any time to draw and color at your own pace. Let's start by grabbing a white piece of paper. I like to put 1 or 2 pieces of paper underneath to protect the surface that I'm working on. I'm going to use a black marker so you can see what I'm drawing, but you can use a pencil and then go over your lines with marker later. Let's start by making a frame for our scene. I'm going to incorporate some non-living elements of this wetland ecosystem as part of my frame. So, I'm going to draw some land in the bottom 2 corners. I'll make some squiggly lines for the land, and I'll make some puffy clouds in the top 2 corners. I'll draw some curved lines for the clouds. Awesome! Now I'll add some living elements. I often see this pampas grass in the wetlands, and I think it'd be really fun to draw it. So I'm going to draw long skinny lines for the blades of grass. and then some long skinny lines that shoot up with some zigzags for the fluffy reeds on top. So remember, right now we are just making the frame and the outline for our ecosystem scene. We're going to use colored pencils later to color this in, but for now, pretend like we're making our very own coloring page with just the outline in black marker. So don't color anything in yet. Now I'm drawing some salt grass and a Mexican fan palm. Plants are an important part of many ecosystems. They often give insects and animals like birds, frogs, and fish a home to live in, food to eat, and a place to build their nests. Many species of plants and animals come into an ecosystem from another place, and some of those are invasive, which means they took on a role that changed the way other things interact around them. I'm going to draw some ice plant here as well. So sometimes the non-native species can be good for an ecosystem, but other times it can throw everything off balance. Humans have introduced many invasive species into ecosystems, so we have to be careful what kind of plants and critters we carry around from place to place. Speaking of invasive species, I'm going to draw an American bullfrog on a little rock right here. You can follow along with me to draw your own. Fun fact, bullfrogs will eat almost anything, including rats, fish, and other frogs. There we go with the mouth, and I'll make two little legs there. Awesome. Now I'm going to finish my frame by connecting the corners with lines. Oftentimes when I make a frame, I think about how I frame my thoughts about my art piece. Some people will say, oh, I'm no good at art, or I can't do this. But really, everyone is an artist in their own right. You just sometimes need to change your frame of mind and let the creativity flow through you. I like to give myself positive thoughts when I'm creating art because it makes me happy and it makes me a better artist in the end. Just something to consider. Now we get to draw the great blue heron. Oh, I'm so excited about this bird. Let's start in the middle of the frame with an oval that comes to a point on one side. This is the bird's wing. Now we'll draw a curved line for the body and an S shape for the neck. At the top of the S, draw a half circle for the head. Now we draw the beak with a line that comes to a point and back to the head. Draw a little S on the beak and a line through the middle of it to finish up. Then finish the neck and body with a curved line that goes back to the wing. Great! I added a zigzag for some more feathers, and now I'll make the legs with long lines. This bird has 3 toes on each foot. Awesome! Now draw the eyeball and some feathers on the top of its head. I'm so excited to color this great blue heron. We're going to make a beautiful sunset in the backdrop. You can draw a horizontal line across, or follow along with me to make 2 more pieces of land in the background connected by a horizontal line. This is the edge of the wetland where the marsh meets the ocean. Now let's draw the sun. I have a trick for making a perfect circle. Just grab a cup and put it right where you want your sun to be. Now I'm going to trace it, but wait! I'm going to be really careful not to draw on top of my great blue heron. So I'll stop tracing early and just finish the line without the cup. There! Now I have my sun. If you want to, you can add a few more details on the frame, maybe some patterns of lines, dots, zigzags, anything to add a little extra unique flair. I'm going to add a couple little birds in the sky and some little bugs. These could represent flies or mosquitoes. I'm also going to draw a striped mullet jumping out of the water. You can really represent so many different things in this ecosystem, so freestyle it. Other options include crabs, butterflies, bees, flowers, sea snails, snakes, lizards, pelicans, rabbits. We could spend all day drawing these animals, but I've just chosen a few of them to add to our drawing. Now it's time to get coloring. Grab your colored pencils and I'll show you a few techniques. For this project, I want you to really take your time to color. Consider what nature has to teach us about being mindful. Great art takes time. Be kind to yourself while you make art and celebrate your art like it's its birthday. Notice how I color in one line back and forth, and then I'll fill it in right below it. This is called the ladder technique. It's almost like you're coloring in a ladder all the way through. How much pressure or how hard are you pressing on your paper with the colored pencil? The harder you press, the darker it's going to look. I want to make my little rock darker than the others, so I'm going to press harder here. Another thing to keep in mind, use your light colors first, then use darker colors to add in detail. You can always add more colors to light spots, but it's very hard to add lighter colors over dark ones. I'm going to take a darker green to add a little bit of detail to my bullfrog. To color in my great blue heron, I'm going to press lightly with a gray base color. The bird's face is mostly white, so I'll leave a white area. I'll add some gray to the beak. And now I'm going to press hard with this same gray to add some details around the edges of the wing. While you have one colored pencil in your hand, look for all the places you can use that color before switching colors. Now I'll add some details with my blue colored pencil to add a pop of color. Grab your next color and continue coloring in all the elements of your ecosystem, using lighter colors first and darker colors on top of that. But don't do the sun, the sky, or the water just yet. Let's save that background for last so that we can do it together. Ready to make a sunset? Okay, start by coloring the sun a bright yellow. Move your pencil left to right to color the whole sun in. You can layer a darker yellow and even some orange over the top of this. Then, take your bright yellow and color back and forth along the circular edge of the sun, all the way around. Do the same thing with orange, following along the yellow color. Let some of the orange overlap the yellow so it blends nicely. Then, do the same with pink, all the way around with big long strokes back and forth. Fill in the rest of the sky with blue. Beautiful! Now it's time to color the water. So let's keep in mind that water reflects the sky like a mirror. Imagine an invisible line on your page where the sun is, and color in back and forth along that line in the water. Do the same thing on each side of the yellow with orange and then pink. Awesome! Now fill in the water with blue. Water is an important part of almost all ecosystems. I'm imagining that my estuary has a mixture of fresh water from a river and salt water from the ocean. This mix of fresh and salt water is called brackish water. Use your blue to lightly color over the rest of the colors too, and fill in the water area. This will make for a nice reflection of our beautiful sky. Now I'm going to add the finishing touches to my clouds. I'm coloring in my clouds in a circular motion so they look nice and fluffy. Now I'll color in my frame. There we have it, a unique piece of art that represents a wetland ecosystem. Well guys, I've had a blast. Thank you for exploring wetland ecosystems with me. How cool was that? I loved making this artwork with colored pencils, and I hope you did too. I can't wait to see what you guys made. I wish I could look through the screen and see what you made, but I can't. So if you can email me at heyparachute@gmail.com with pictures of what you made and send me a little note, maybe I'll feature you on a future video, and I would also just love to see it. Thank you guys so much, and have a beautiful day. I can't wait to